We're here to talk about entitlement. This is not necessarily one of those topics that you just sort of sit down and go, hey, can we talk about how to raise our kids so they're less entitled? But it's an important one. It's one that we all have on the back of our minds at some point, or even on the front of our minds. And the season of giving and gifts and getting and wanting gifts, can really bring this to mind. And I think it's a wonderful time for us to harvest an opportunity to help our kids tune into what I consider authentic gratitude so that we can expand upon that, help them notice those grateful feelings and have it become more of their daily lives. So I'm here, your lead coach and founder of Raising Our Resilience, Vanessa Callahan. So happy to share this with you. And it's based off of research that I committed 2 years of my career to looking into these gratitude practices and how does it impact childhood, children, and the caregivers in schools. And I want to help you kickstart your year with key strategies that help kids and adults have more appreciation for all the things and all the people that bring goodness into our lives. So let's build up your toolbox with 3 teachable gratitude hacks. And maybe you're here because you want to learn how to inspire your kids to express genuine gratitude. If that's you, let me know. Maybe you're here because you know that when you feel grateful, it's easier to cope with things like difficult emotions and maybe even have fun and have some ease around your gratitude practices. Or possibly you just want to write some incredible thank you cards with your kids that really come from a genuine place as they're reflecting on the things that they received over this holiday season, potentially. So many of you know I'm all about building resilience in families, and you know about my research in gratitude and why these things are connected, resilience and gratitude. Well, it turns out that children who have more appreciation for the people and things and opportunities in their lives also tend to have better life outcomes. Gratitude is of the 24, gratefulness and gratitude of the 24 universal character strengths from the VIA Center is one of the most highly associated with more resilience to cope, but also higher life satisfaction alongside humor and a few others. So why we want this? There's so many reasons. And I would love to know what your reason is. Like, why do you want your child to have an authentic sense of appreciation for the things in their lives? What is it about gratitude and appreciation that's appealing to you as a part of your family culture? Things that I've heard from parents that you may resonate with is, I don't want my kid to turn out to be spoiled and entitled, thinking that they have a right to unreasonable expectation, that they have a right to everything that they want all the time, anytime they want it. So there's a concern of things going in that direction. There's also a concern of feeling kind of a sense of despair of like, I don't have enough goodness in my life, when actually there are things that are very good about life, even and especially when we're going through struggles. It's important to stay in touch with what resources we have in our life and what goodness and what people we have in our lives to lean on. So I want to know your reason. Like, what's your reason why having an authentic sense of appreciation and gratitude and for yourself and for your kids is a priority for you right now? I would love to know why. So please pop it in the chat. I know we've got Ani, and Ani's back and Shalini's back. Hey, good to see you both. Let me know in the chat, what is it about having more appreciation, more gratitude in your family system, in your daily life, that would makes a difference to you? Like, what is it about it? Why is it important? And it can just be a one-word answer. We'd just love for y'all to participate. You'll get more out of this, as I tell my clients in my year-long program and my shorter programs, like, yes, please participate. You'll get more out of it, as Shalini knows, since she was in one of our programs recently. So in Facebook, we've got 3 folks listening. Just pop in something in the comments. Let us know. What is it about appreciation practices and gratitude practices that appeals to you, and bringing that into your family system? Okay, so that'll help me know also why you're here, and I can tailor this training to you. If you're on YouTube, drop a comment, or if you're watching the replay, just put replay. That's always helpful. Amanda's here, and she's like, just the feeling that I get when I feel grateful. Beautiful, Amanda. Yeah, like just getting to fully experience gratitude. Gratitude, often, by the way, is an emotion. It's also an affect, it's an attitude, it's a perspective, but gratefulness. But gratitude is an emotion. And so the first thing I want to tell you right out the gate is, if you want to inspire authentic gratitude in your children, you need to stop shoulding all over them to be grateful. And when I say that, I say this like just for fun, stop shoulding on your children all over them that they should feel grateful. There's like this finger wagging thing that happens. We don't should our children into feeling happy or sad or angry. You should be angry. You should be sad. You should be, lonely right now. We don't should them into any other emotions typically. And so it's odd though, that in our culture, in many cultures, there is this, you should be grateful. And I'll just tell you right now that doesn't work. Guilting someone into gratitude is not going to lead to an authentic, deeply rooted sense of gratitude. And then whatever expression of gratitude that follows is going to fall flat. It's a thank you, or, oh, they'll sit there and they'll do the thank you cards, but they don't actually like feel connected to the reason why they're doing them. So we're going to fix that today. Sound good? Okay. So here are 3 teachable gratitude steps and gratitude hacks that I want you to have, these practices. Shalini says she wants her kid to feel positive and not take anything for granted. I love it. And when you don't take things for granted, you also take better care of them, right? Like you're less likely to damage something. You're less likely to, treat something roughly. Yes, Shalini says, I know that's something that you're concerned about, and many of us are. And when you don't take things for granted, you might take the time to, like lean in and value it. Yeah, exactly. Value it and give it the attention it deserves, and take care of it even. Ani says gratitude puts things in perspective. Yes, it's like seeing the good in life. There's this really powerful practice called, 3 good things that's been classically studied in the gratitude research. And just taking inventory can help you lead to have a more positivity bias of being able to see what's good in your life. And that puts things into perspective. Like, okay, so the ice cream fell on the floor, and aren't we lucky that we have that ice cream is available and we can go get another cone? My gosh, how lucky are we that that's not the only ice cream that exists and now it's gone. We actually have access to lots of ice cream. Isn't that incredible? Whoa, okay. Okay, I actually appreciate how much ice cream there is, instead of having a 20-minute meltdown about the ice cream. So it can be a buffer to challenging adverse experiences. Tanisha's here saying building a culture of appreciation changes the energy in the home. I love that, Tanisha. It really does, right? Like the feeling tone between the members of the family. Absolutely. Well, okay. So are you ready for me to break it down into 3 parts? Okay. So this is, by the way, from the Greater Good Science Center. They landed this huge grant from the John Templeton Foundation, millions of dollars, and then they went into all kinds of spaces, workspaces, hospitals, schools. And I was lucky enough to be brought onto a team that went into early childhood environments. And we really decided that we weren't going to teach kids about how to feel grateful. We were going to help them notice when they're already feeling grateful, tune into it and expand upon it, and learn how to express it, and learn how to like really savor it and enjoy it. And here's the 3-step process that we brought into our research that also the Greater Good Science Center has published some materials about. It is to step 1, notice, step 2, think, and step 3, feel. Now it sounds really basic, but I tell you, if you expand upon this, you'll see the power of it. Okay. So the first thing is the noticing. Learn to notice the gift within the gift, right? So, and you prompt instead of lecture. Like, wow, that was a wonderful thing that, Aunt Betsy did for you. I saw. Did you notice that? Did you notice that she went and found the special kind of stickers that you like, and made sure to get the unicorn ones because you love unicorns so much? Well, that's really special. Did you notice that? And just see what if they, yes, it was even the pink ones that I love so much, or the sparkly ones, or help them just noticing. And that was from Aunt Betsy. Wow. And then so that's a noticing. And then you pause and think about it. Now you don't tell them what to think. You pause and you model thinking about, I wonder why Aunt Betsy did this great thing, and like went out of her way to look for your stickers that you like so much, and even get the sparkly ones. What do you notice? What did you notice about that? And you could say, well, it seems like she really knows what I like. Or be like, what else did you notice? Well, she had a big smile on her face when she gave it to me. What else did you notice? oh, it just felt so good. I wanted to give her a big hug. Beautiful, right? And what else do you think? What else do you think might have been the reason why she got these for you? Well, she really wanted me to be happy. I'm thinking like there's all these different ranges depending on the age and stage of your child or teen or tween. So you're noticing, you're thinking, and then you're feeling, tuning into that great feeling. Well, okay, so you said you felt good. What else did you notice? So how else did you feel? And then she could say, wow, it felt so good in my chest, like my heart right here felt bigger. Kids will say the most amazing things about how their embodiment of their feelings. They just have this way, like my cheeks were bright. I heard one kid say. It's so sweet, right? And now if you have teens and tweens, you can still have this conversation. It's just going to sound more mature. Like, did you see that? Did you see that Aunt Betsy like went across town to your favorite restaurant and got like the pizza you really like? Man, that was wonderful. And then maybe they'll say something like, yeah, it seems like she drove all the way. I know that takes a while. And last time we were there, it took 20 minutes. She had to wait in line. I was like, yeah, I bet she gave up a lot of her time. I wonder why she did that. And just pose the question. Teen or tween go like, well, she knows I love that deep dish or something, right? And what do you think made them choose to do that? Well, I think she wanted it to be special because it's my birthday, or because it's she knows she wanted to see me smile. It's like, yeah, how's that make you feel? Like pretty loved. Like she's pretty awesome, like those are the kinds of conversations I've had with teens and tweens. It can be leveled down to a younger age or leveled way up. The younger they are, the more you're going to want to model and just ask like, did you see that too? Or what did you see? Like concrete things, right? How did you feel in your body? It's noticing, thinking, feeling. So Ani wanted to know what number 2 is. Noticing. Learn to notice the gift within the gift, and maybe prompt by just saying like, wow, I noticed this. Did you notice too? Or what did you notice? 2, thinking. I wonder why this person did this great thing for us or for you, and what it took for them to do that. Why did they choose to do that? I wonder. Think about it, right? And then 3, tuning into the feelings that come up. What do you notice? What do you feel? And I think right away, feeling positive is what Amanda said, or just the feeling I get, right? So like try to put some words to it, like I feel warm in my heart, or like my cheeks are bright, like that child had said. And then we have to just kind of have a moment there and realize that the next thing we're going to want to do, but don't do it, is to tell them they should say thank you. I would just cut the shoulds, please. Just get rid of the shoulds. There's no shoulding on the kids about gratitude, okay? Anymore. From this day on, please stop. Now, sometimes we have to say, hey, do you think you should say, do you think this is a good time to say thank you? Say, I almost said should too. Do you think it's a good time to say thank you? I mean, they just did something nice for you. And you can kind of check in with them. And sometimes we just model like, thank you, even if it isn't this long process. And we should keep doing that. These are the social scripts that kids need to see us use and need to sometimes be prompted to do on the fly. Like someone holds the door for you. Thank you. Maybe say thank you. They just held the door. But what we're doing today is we're going deeper into a more authentic root and a more like anchored place where they will then carry it forward and start to notice, think, and feel this gratitude without your prompting. That's what we want. We want them to have this little like template of a process of like that brings them there. So instead of saying you should say thank you, it's really helpful to offer kids actually different ways to show gratitude. And that's my final hack for you today. Okay. And I have a resource to share with you. I'm going to put up on the screen in a moment. The reason why we want to give kids different ways to show gratitude is especially because they've been told they should say, it should look a certain way. It should be thank you. And you look at the person and smile. That is one of many options. It is not the only way that gratitude can be expressed. Just like there's not one way love can be expressed. I mean, if love was only hugs, for example, that'd be a little weird, right? Or it was only I love you, but you couldn't express love another way. We wouldn't do that, right? So let's not restrict gratitude to the words thank you. Let's expand upon that. And that's actually something that came out of our research. So we brought gratitude practices into elementary schools and into early childhood schools. I've been flown to China, Bulgaria, all kinds of places, to in Denver, all over the country and all over the world, to share gratitude practices specifically with educators and then later with parents. And one of the things that we found over and over again in the research, and then later as I was sharing this out, is that we do have a narrow way that we kind of expect gratitude to show up and to be expressed. And the more we expand upon that, the more likely kids are going to authentically express their gratitude, because it'll feel right to them, right? Like, does it always feel right to express your love with a hug? No, sometimes it's a high five or a smile, or it's something else, right? Or it's a favor that you do. And so part of the research is that one of my colleagues actually interviewed kids. How do you know when someone's being extra nice to you? Or like, how do you, like, basically, how do you receive love and appreciation in your life that you can recognize as a kid? And these are some of the things that they said. And we put them into something called a wheel of thanks. And this, by the way, is available to teachers and educators as a part of a curriculum that was grant-based. And so we are in the position to give it away for free. So if you want to contact me and share with me that you would like a copy of this curriculum as an educator, I have a writer's workshop for elementary and a preschool curriculum that really helps expand on natural occurrences of gratitude, which is where this comes from. So if that's of interest to you, please make sure you reach out to me. You can hit me up in the contact information, email me, or DM me, okay? And you're going to need to give me your best email right in that message. Yes, I'd like a copy of early childhood or elementary, and here's my email address, and then we can get it to you, okay? Within the next week or so. So look at these options. I put this up on the screen for a reason. How sweet is this that kids can say, yes, smile and say thank you for something and name the thing is a great place to start, but we can expand upon this. And this is not the only list. We can go riff off of this quite a bit, and I'll share a story of how that happened. Give a high five, give a hug, be extra nice, share a treat, make a picture, write a thank you letter, make an awesome friend award, and more, right? Now, of course, kids, when I put this up in the classroom as a part of the study, and we shared about how these different ways that you can express gratitude and what are ways that they like to do it. And we talked about it. And then we would find the kids walking up to this, picking something and then going and doing it, like making a picture for a friend, or they come up to me like, you know what? So-and-so just helped me when I fell down. They got me an ice pack. This is like a 5-year-old, right? They got me an ice pack and I want to go home and make cookies and share a treat with them. And it was so sweet. Like, they just saw like kindness begets kindness. Like, and I helped them feel like, oh, how do you feel, right? Like, what did they noticing what they did, thinking about it? Why do you think they did that? Oh, because they care about me and they're a nice person. Wow. How does that make you feel? So happy, and then I said, well, the next question is, well, how would you like to show your appreciation? But this child already told me, I'm going to go back home and bake cookies and share a treat. But when we walk them through these steps, it's not the same as telling them to feel a certain way and behave a certain way. It's actually like just helping them through the exercise of noticing, thinking, feeling, and then later also expressing their appreciation. And so when we give them options, it also helps them to build friendships and do it in a way that they feel strong instincts around. Like, they might sense that, doing something really nice for this person would really cheer them up. And so that would be a great way to express their thanks. Or they notice that when they give them a big hug, that the person goes, oh, and they smile, and they start to have this little tear of joy. And they notice, oh, this is the way that this person really likes to receive my appreciation. And they can keep doing that. It's really a part of the social glue that helps things stick together, is to have this kind of appreciation, and the expression of appreciation is really, really important. One thing I need to tell you too is that in our culture, sometimes in many cultures, there is this kind of thing where you worry about embarrassing the other person or making them feel like you're indebted to them. There's just some barriers to expressing gratitude that I want to name. So those are two of them. Like, you're going to embarrass them, or now you're admitting that you're indebted to them, or you're admitting your weakness, that you needed their help and you're grateful for their help, but it's kind of admitting that you needed the help in the first place. All of those things are important to keep an eye on, as adults, because these are things that children don't really have many problems with in early age, but they learn them from us. So if you have some hangups around this, it's really important that you take a look at them and try and set them aside. And one thing that helped me do that is to go to the research, because I love data. I'm a scientist and an educator. And the science part of it is that we overestimate how uncomfortable, awkward, or put off people will be if we profusely thank them. Like that embarrassment factor, like it's going to be embarrassing for them, or they're not going to like that I'm being so, so expressive with my gratitude. We overestimate how awkward they're going to feel. And we underestimate the boost in happiness that we're going to give them when we express our gratitude, and or the boost in happiness that we're going to receive by having expressed that gratitude. We also underestimate how much this helps us to bond together in our relationships, the power of it. It's actually more powerful than we give it credit usually. Typically, we are also in the mentality of this is just the right thing to do. If you're a good person, you say thank you. These are good manners. But there's actually a lot of like mood boosting, wellness supporting, like even selfish reasons to express gratitude, because it actually helps move things forward. It's also can also be very healing if you can find something to be grateful for in difficult circumstances. Now, that's not to say that you replace gratitude with informed action and addressing issues, and that you're not allowed to also be sad or angry or scared. It can live alongside these things, kind of back and forth, but it can also give you a break from those negative emotions, where you can like get some perspective, get grounded, find something that you appreciate, and then go back at it. A lot of times the most powerful agents of change and social justice and everything have deep gratitude and appreciation for all the work that's been done before them, for their support systems, for the opportunities that are afforded to them, even if they're in a marginalized community. So these things can coexist. I just want to name that. All right, so back to the kiddos. Yes, we have this wheel of thanks. Another thing that we did in our research that was really important is for the older children, and this is something that you might want to just kind of take a moment and take a look at with me, is that there's this kind of expansion on the noticing, feeling, noticing, thinking, and feeling, which is where we actually have them kind of go through a writing exercise where they go through and write a gratitude story. This is something I created in my research, specifically with elementary kids. And we have them think of a time that someone went out of his or her way to help you. And it's a lot of the noticing, thinking, and feeling is built in here, but it has a few more extra steps. So this is, if you have young kids, you can kind of look forward to this. It's also something we can do as adults that can help us to set up a really great gratitude practice called the gratitude visit, which I'll explain in just a moment. But really thinking of a time that someone went out of their way to help you, and what did this person give you or do to help you? And really naming concretely those actions. Like you researched and found a really great program for me to join, and you recommended it to me, and gave me 3 options of different things. And I now have had a chance to go ahead and get started on my, my program, and it's made such a difference to me. Thank you. I'm so glad that you were able to do that. How did I benefit? I benefited because now I have a support system in place around this goal that I have, and a really great mentor. And that's helped me to just get back on my feet and feel like back in control again. And I feel like incredibly relieved that I have this support in place, and that it came from a trusted source like you. Thank you so much. And what I know you did is you spent 2 hours of your time like combing through your resources and contacting people and kind of checking out these programs before you recommended them to me. That means so much. Gosh. And you clearly did this on purpose because you're such a kind and generous person. And I just want you to know you've had such a huge impact on my life, and thank you so much. And as a token of my appreciation, I would just really love to offer you, access to this resource that I created. And would you like to check that out? Here it is. I'm just role playing through, right? When someone has an impact on your life, how you can really acknowledge that and get grounded into not just the experience with that person, but what life is actually like. Coming back to the kids often are out of touch, and it's not their fault. They have limited life experience, out of touch with the goodness of life and how much is actually available to them and how life actually works. There's so much that happens behind the scenes. So if there's one thing you're going to do today, going forward, you can try the notice, think, feel, and do. The notice, think, feel, and do, right? Notice, think, and feel, and the do is like how you're going to do or express your gratitude. Go ahead and roll through those 3 steps, and then the expression part is really important. But what I would love for you to do as well is start to get into the practice of just telling the good news, telling the story of the person who went out of their way to bring them a really amazing gift that they really like. Explore how stuff is made. Like, what does it take to get a iPad into their hands? Like, like, how is that made? Like, how many people were involved in that, right? How did it work? How did it get here? It didn't just show up in a box on the door. And kids don't know until you share that with them. I remember a mom coming to me and saying, I have a funny but kind of sad story for you. I said, what happened? She goes, well, I was trying to, encourage my kid to be more appreciative of where things come from. And so I asked them this question, sweetie, where do you think this came from? Right. And there's like picking up a toy or like, and this book and this thing from the kitchen. Oh, that's from the brown box guy. And she's like, what? The one with a smile on it. And she's like, that's where it comes? She's like, yeah, that's where everything comes from. It comes from the brown box guy. And what she was talking about was like the Amazon box that would land on the porch. And so we are raising a generation of children that are pretty disconnected with the source of things and are pretty oblivious to the invisible labor that's happening behind the scenes to bring all this goodness into their lives, including yours. So if there's one thing you do, I would really work on the noticing part, and the thinking, feeling, and doing will follow. And one way you can do that is working through those gratitude stories, like tell stories of where things come from, what the invisible labor, make it visible. And you can start with the gratitude story that I put up on the screen, or you can just, spontaneously, whenever it comes up, just notice, what is this good thing that's coming? Where is it coming from? What do we think it took to get here? And then you can start to go into, think about, well, what does that mean about the person who did this? Or what does this mean about this object? Is it valuable or is it trash? Do we take care of it or do we, throw it around? And see where that leads you. And I would love for y'all to come back next week and let me know how it all went. Just try one thing this week, especially the noticing part, but you can go through the noticing, thinking, feeling, and doing steps, and or try out that gratitude story prompt. Again, if you want a copy of the curriculum that is related to this that we developed through my master's research and then through the Greater Good Science Center, especially if you're an educator, make sure you send me a message that which ones you want and your email to send it to, and I'd be happy to share that with you and continue the great work of the John Templeton Foundation's Gratitude Project. It's a big one and really important. All right, lots of love to you all. Let me know if you have any takeaways that you want to share in the chat. That's the one thing that stood out that you're going to go try. That's always a great way to close, and just let you know that I see you and I see how you are becoming a calm and empowered parent, raising confident, happy, and resilient children. That's what we're all about here. So happy to support you. And you're going to need to give me your full email address if it's something that you want me to send, and I would recommend doing it privately, like through an email or through a direct message, rather than in the Facebook or YouTube comments. Okay. All right. Lots of love to you all. See you next time. Bye for now. Oh, sorry. One more announcement. We do have a webinar coming up that folks have been asking about. It is my yearly motivation hacks webinar and workshop. And what we're going to do is go over 5 ways that we can boost our motivation for whatever goals we're setting in 2023. And even not just for goals, but just for like daily life hacks, right? What are our motivation hacks for, getting chores done, getting kids on board with their routines, for us to establish new, healthier habits, if that's a thing that we're trying to do this year. whatever it might be. We have great hacks for you. The other side of the research that I did was motivation, like what motivates kids, what motivates adults, how do we actually hack into intrinsic, naturally occurring motivation. So I hope that you're able to, yes, Ani, there will be an email sent about this to you. Yes. It's already in the newsletter from this week too. At the bottom, special events, you can sign up for the motivation hacks as well. But it's January 23rd, and yeah, myself and my co-presenter, Dr. Luce, will be there, and we're so happy to support you. It'll be very interactive. We'll be asking people to come on screen and like share their stories and get you specifics about what, and some coaching around how to have your own motivation breakthrough. So we really want folks to be there live if possible. It's the best way to play and to learn. All right, again, lots of love to you all. Until next time, bye for now.